What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? This is Johnny. It's Monday, April 27th at 8:45 a.m. I'm going live today. This is our weekend recap show. We're going to go over our wins, our losses. We're going to talk about the weekend that just was in boxing. And then the next time you'll see me on that live, we're going to be focusing on the massive fights that we have in front of us. We have fights in 48 hours in Melbourne, Australia, headlined by Sky Nicholson, but we'll get into that later. This is our weekly recap show. Wherever you are in the world, I say thank you for tapping in. We're a growing community. Pinned in the comments section and pinned on the screen right now is our link to join our world famous Johnny Says Boxing VIP Discord. You could join either here on YouTube, become a JSB Insider, or on Patreon. It's a couple bucks a month, whichever one you choose. You get access to our Discord. You get all of my picks, parlays, all that good stuff. Access to the Instagram live streams and all that good stuff. I'll leave that pinned in the comment section. Let's see here. We have a lot of content to bring you this week because of all the cards. So I'm going to go live one more time today. This is my birthday. So as a birthday present, just like the video. However you can support the channel, do that for me. I have to. The reason why I'm going live right now is because I have plans with my Australian family. So I'm going to be running out the door as soon as this finalizes. Let's see where we are. So yeah, this past weekend in, we'll talk about our bets. It was one of those weekends we knew going into it, it wasn't the busiest. Hopefully, and I told you guys all week, we'll have weekends like this to where you don't have to, hopefully you're not chasing, hopefully you're not, gambling, betting outside of your means. It was one of those, like, I didn't even watch the Jacob Bank card. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, it was on at 2 a.m., and I was in bed, but there's been some instances where there has been cards at that crazy time that I would either stay up or I set an alarm to watch. It just goes to show you Bank did get the knockout and we hit, but it was one of those weekends of the tickets, 6 to 7 tickets. I only missed one money line bet. It was a D-gen play. It was a money line bet. He was $1.15. It was on the Jacob Bank undercard. He lost the majority decision, and I didn't watch the fight. So that burned our weekly parlay. And then a few of the bets that didn't hit, and this is one of those weekends where, we picked the proper winner, but the method of victory didn't hit. Like one ticket, we needed the knockout. He got a decision. Another ticket, we needed the decision. He won by knockout. That sort of thing. And this is what you get in boxing betting. But we did come home strong. We hit a plus 860 in the UFC. We were like I said, we missed a majority decision in boxing. I thought Montel won. Maybe I'm salty. I thought Montel Jackson won. I thought he did enough to beat Unk. He lost the split decision. If Montel gets his hand raised there, we would have had a perfect day in the UFC. Things didn't happen for us on that ticket. But we were right on Ryan Spann. We hit on all of our UFC picks. We were right on Ryan Spann. We were right on Rafa. So we had a triple, and then and I'll show you the tickets in a second. And then our dog of the week. We extended our underdog of the week record 12 weeks in a row. That's 3 straight months. Who else is giving you 3 straight months of plus money underdogs? That's another thing. If you're new to the channel, guys, all of my bets, all of my plays, all of my parlays are plus money. Also, all of my bets, all of my plays, you see my tickets. I just want to reference that because I got skin in the game. It's not me just telling you who I'm taking. It's my bank account on the line as well. Okay, moving forward, let's get into this. Age. Okay, let's remove that. Why is the screen black? Remove from stage. Remove. Okay. We'll see. The internet's acting up. We'll see if it comes back on. Add to stage. If not, it's all good. I'll just say what's up to everybody. Everyone's tapping in. Yeah, I know that people had mixed results. Once my laptop starts running, I'll get into it. We got a lot of fights coming up. Happy bro. Yeah, it is my. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We up. We up. John Mags. We up. Okay, let me get in here real quick. Okay, that works. Why is this not working? Add to stage. Yeah, Rafa hit, Sterling hit, Jocelyn Edwards hit, Ryan Spann hit, Jarrell Miller. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we hit our prop. We took Jarrell Miller at $1.77, and we took Jacob Bank by knockout. And the reason why we had to do that is because all the tickets I give you are plus money. I'm not just going to give you Jarrell Miller on the money line at $1.77. I did say play the points. I didn't pick that though. I didn't have any action on Miller on points. I was happy with the $1.77 on the money line, and then we parlayed that with Jacob Bank, which was like $1.40, and that gave us a plus 125. So yeah, this is what we do. We kind of find our options. We see what the books are giving us, and then we piece together tickets, and this is what we do. This is the fun part. It's my favorite thing to do. Okay, why is this? As Bro made a killing off UFC. Yeah, man. The UFC did us well. I'm glad that you're up. Okay, let's see if this works. Share screen. We'll see. Brandon in the house. What's up, chat? Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Wherever you're tapping in, let me know what's up. Let me know if you have any questions. We got a lot to talk about. At the stage. Something went wrong. My internet's suspicious over here. We're going to work through it. We're going to work through it. Early ahead, but I'm all over Pradas. Yeah, Pradas is fighting JDM, Jack Della Maddalena. Okay. Johnny's entered the studio. I'll get to my predictions in a second. I'm trying to figure this out. Sorry, guys. Sorry it's taking a little bit longer. All right, here we go. At stage. Boom. Okay. So I just want to go over this is what things look like for us. And I do want to. Did you guys see this knockout? This knockout was insane. Watch this left hook. This is Medueno. Yeah, it's still going slow on my end. Well, that's the Medueno knockout. My man lands just a beautiful hook there. This screen is freezing on my second device. But yeah, this is the Discord triple. Davey Grant, Rafa, Jocelyn Edwards. This is why in the UFC, guys, even during the fights, one of the benefits of joining our Discord is the live chat. So I posted this before the fights. Davey Grant, this hit plus 853. That was after I felt Montel Jackson got robbed. I don't want to use the word robbery. It was a close fight. It just depends on what you wanted. Look, I get it. Hani Barsalis finished every round almost like in a position where if the round was a little bit more extended, it looks like he would have stopped Montel. Montel's, choke defense on his back is horrible. His, trying to defend the rear naked and defend his neck He doesn't use both arms. It's you could tell he doesn't practice a lot of positioning there. But he's a striker, and his strikes were doing more damage if you just look at their face. So I kind of half in jest say that we got robbed because I don't like using the word robbery. But whatever it is, Montel lost. I posted this before the Davy Grant fight, and then lo and behold, they all come through. So, and sometimes the weekend works that way to where sometimes it's your live betting that'll be the ones that hit the most. So that ended up coming through. I don't know if you're in the Discord, you were able to hit that. Yeah. Happy birthday. No shame to admit I was wrong last night. So what were you wrong on? Look, nobody's 100%, Brendan. This is the thing, boys. This is the game we play. The game we play is we firstly, bro, I appreciate you on, it's like we created a space to where we could go back and forth about the fights and understand that if you're wrong, you don't have to worry about getting piled on. You know what I mean? That's the worst thing is like, and we see it a lot online, is it I went into this wanting to create the space to be able to talk boxing with boxing heads like myself and not have to worry about the casuals and the trolls. So nobody's 100%. Somebody has to be wrong. Somebody has to be right. Are you referring to the Jarrell Miller fight? And if you're referring to the Jarrell Miller fight, I understand. It's not like Jarrell Big Baby Miller is a guy that you want to invest your mortgage on. Cuevas is a real factor at 135. Yeah, I felt that knockout through the. Oh, okay. Medueno. They love Eddie. Tito Sanchez might be a guy to look at for this Saturday. He trains with Ramon Cardenas, but Jorge Chavez looked amazing against Gucci Mane. Jorge Chavez is back. Jorge Chavez is back. Yeah, we cover Jorge. I didn't know he was fighting again. Good looking out. They love Eddie. Jorge Chavez is a guy that we covered on the channel his last two fights against Manny Flores. The first fight was a draw, and I bet against him. And in the rematch, I was like, no, I'm winning money this time. And we took. And the interesting thing is, Chavez started that second fight a bit slow, if you remember. And I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get screwed again. Manny Flores looked good in the second fight for like 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and then he just faded and disappeared. And kind of left. We hit our bet, but I was kind of left scratching my head, like, wow, maybe I don't know what's up with Flores. His gas tank just totally disappeared. Give me 1 second. Pull these odds up. I have to see the odds. I'm going to pull the book up after we say our what's ups. Guys, we're about 15 minutes in. A bit of a slower day, about 30 people. If we could get 50 in here, that'll be dope. Let me know how everyone's going. Like the video. If you hit, let me know what you hit on. If you can, tip the bartender. Whatever you can, support the channel. I appreciate you. Kazuta Ioka is live against Inoue Tour season. Yep, Torians. I think he's live. I know a lot of people have been quick to jump the gun here on based off of what Tension looked like in Tension's last fight against El Gallo, and people like to do boxing maths. Well, Takume looked great against Tension, and Tension looked great against El Gallo. So that means that Takume is going to dog walk Ioka. I don't play the games like that. I don't think that's always the case. So once I bring the odds up and we start getting into the sort of like fine details of it, I'll let you know who I like. I am slightly leaning Inoue in that fight, but that's not my official prediction. I know a lot of people are on the Jin Sasaki plus money pick right now as well. I know Sasaki has been training in the U.S. That's another fight to look into. What else? If you go to my Instagram, I put a poll question up on a fight Wednesday night in Australia, Ben Hussein versus Andrew Hunt. The odds on that fight are good. It's a good fight to look into. We got a lot of work to do. That card Wednesday night is in Melbourne. It's headlined by Sky Nicholson. Jeez, my internet is just suspect. Everything is crashing. Thank God I have this device. Cuban Olympians are on a losing streak. Bro, we talked about this. There's some awesome guys. There's an awesome soundbite if you want to go watch my live stream from Friday where I broke this down. I talked about why I didn't like Lenier Pero. I talked to also, bro, it's not the only one. How about the 7-1 dog? How about this one? And I'm just salty that I didn't play it, but I told everybody about it. How about that one? Landy Alvarez was a 7-1 favorite against Jose Nunez, and he got stopped in the second. I told it I didn't play this one, but a buddy of mine played it. And sure enough, another Cuban Olympian goes down in dramatic fashion. There were two of them this weekend. There was Landy Alvarez getting knocked out, and then Lenier Pero. So it's a pattern, boys. A lot of people got cooked this weekend. I got cooked on Montel. Yeah, I mean, there, on one side I see how he lost, on the other side I see like I don't. It just depends what those judges are scoring. You know what I mean? Like they were scoring off of the potential of what rounds 1 and 2 looked like at the end. He just wasn't. I mean, it's not my issue with that is Hani Barcelos wasn't landing anything. Why didn't you put your dog of the week in that parlay? It would have juiced it. I never do that. I have systems, so it's a good question. The longer you're on my channel, the longer the more the longer you're in our Discord, you'll see I have systems, and the systems work because dogs don't always win. Now, granted, we are on a 12-week winning streak of underdogs, but I have been burned in the past before, and this is why I always try to educate the new bettors, the new gamblers, is you have to create patterns, you have to create systems, you have to create boundaries to ensure that you never lose the same way twice off of plus money bets. So what I mean by that is in the past, I've put my underdog on a parlay and the underdog hits, but then the $1.30 doesn't. I was like, that's never happening again. I'm never putting a plus 400. Could you imagine if we took, a dog at plus 400 and he hits, and then a fighter at $1.60 loses? You don't have anything to show for. So this is why I don't do that, and I'll never do that. Now, granted, on tickets you'll see like the UFC triple that I hit. 2 of the 3 were plus money, but that wasn't my underdog of the week. So I'm never going to put my underdog of the week on a parlay for that sake. Does it juice up odds? Yeah, but I'm not greedy. And sometimes, and that's why we win consistently. Is I've learned over time what to do and what not to do in terms of strategy. A lot of winning consistently on betting comes down to strategy. Another possible underdog I like is Jin Sasaki, Armando Resendez. Mate, I don't know if Armando Resendez beats Munguia, man. I've been saying, you guys have been asking me about this fight for weeks. I've been really hesitant to jump on the Armando Resendez bandwagon. I don't know if it's because I like Jaime Munguia. I'm the rare fight fan who actually doesn't talk shit about Munguia. I like how he operates. A lot of volume. He's big in there. He's long. He's basic. He's he's basic. He's not that fast, but he's not that slow. He could crack. He doesn't really have one punch knockout power. I like his determination. I guess where I'm coming from is when you look at the spirit of our sport, I feel the heartbeat of our sport. What makes boxing the greatest sport on earth is that it's a moment where you could see in a man how determined they are. You really could see in a guy's style who they really are. I like determined fighters. You know what I mean? And I like betting on determined fighters. Like a style this guy has a style that's determined. He's on the front foot. He throws a lot of punches. He's always gonna put himself in a fight. Even he got knocked out against Bruno Sriracha. It's boxing, dude. He lost to Bruno. Then he beat him. That's his most recent form. Resendez' most recent form. A long time ago, it seems, he beat Caleb Plant. How much? You got to ask yourself, how high did you rate Caleb Plant? I've never, if you're on my channel, I'm not a Caleb Plant hater, but I've never been a guy to say Caleb Plant was a world beater. Never been a really active dude, doesn't really have a lot of good wins on his resume. He was a 6-1 favorite against Resendez and gets beat in a fight where he just looks stuck in the mud. How good of and that win propelled Resendez. He got, months after that win, he gets propelled to full WBA. So that this fight against Munguia is for a world title. Resendez is gonna be the smaller guy. I don't think he throws enough punches. Resendez hasn't been active. Hasn't fought since Plant. I don't know if I like that. I don't know. I know the odds are tempting. How does Resendez beat Munguia? Is Resendez gonna not? What's Resendez's path to victory? He's gonna have to stop Munguia. He's not gonna win rounds against him. So I don't know. It's not my official pick. That's currently where I'm leaning. You'll get my stats don't lie video on it. No, I only put 50 on Pero. It's all good. Yeah. You're not the only one, mate. I got a lot of messages. I got a lot of messages that I'll keep people anonymous all week. Every week, guys, I'll get messages in the Discord. I'll get Instagram DMs about guys, some of the boys asking, which way I see a fight going, and then they'll tell me their prediction. 5, 6 guys that I know personally put a lot of money on Pero to win. So it's not just you. I mean, thousands of dollars. And, I'm not going to put those people on blast. Easy money on Chavez. Let's go. Adu, Aussie card 2 days. Can you see any upsets? The one upset that I'm thinking about is Ben Hussein. But I don't know, man, because it's really boxing. There's a thing called recency bias, and it affects all of us. It affects the fan base. It affects the books. It affects the betting. It affects the odds. We watched Andrew Hunt, a New Zealand Kiwi, go into the Munir Fatih fight. As the true blues, the Kiwis knew Andrew Hunt. They knew that he had a pretty solid amateur career. He had taken 3 or 4 years off though, and he wasn't on my radar even on the domestic Australian scene. But Munir Fatih was. Munir Fatih was coming off a really great performance, a fight in which I was at, and he went in as a 4-1 favorite, and he was working his game plan. A lot of the early rounds were kind of nip-tuck, and then Andrew Hunt caught him with such a beautiful hook on an angle right in the middle of the ring and knocked him out one punch. And I'm like, holy shit, how did I miss that? I missed that. I mean, I picked Munir Fatih to win by knockout. I'm like, what the hell? And that's what, I took Munir off of film study, me knowing who he was, me knowing him, watching him fight. And Andrew Hunt, the little film study I saw, it wasn't adding up. I didn't even think Andrew Hunt was live. But after I saw him fight, I'm like, how the hell did I miss this? How did I not see this? And then, obviously, like always, before the fight, the Munir Fatih fight, Andrew Hunt fight, nobody's saying that Andrew Hunt's live. You guys know how this goes. And then after Andrew Hunt gets this viral knockout, I had 3 or 4 of the boys. I told you. Why'd you bet against Andrew? I'm like, bitch, you didn't say anything. Nobody said anything about Andrew Hunt. Nobody before the fight. I mean, unless you're involved in the domestic Kiwi scene, which I'm not. Shout out to Boxing Booth. Maybe Boxing Booth might have. I know Boxing Booth's one of our JSB insiders. He's a boxer and a coach down in New Zealand. So maybe he had insight. I'd like to pick his brain, actually, on Hunt. Because right now, and Ben Hussein's a guy, he had a couple early losses. I like where he's at in his career. I like how determined he fights. I like his, it might sound weird to you guys, but he's good on the mic. He asks for the big fights. He's tough in there, man. He's real tough in there, and he's long, 6'2". He's tall, long, rangy, aggressive. I feel he has the better resume. He's more seasoned, and he's younger. I had to look at their box rec. I'm like, holy shit. Ben Hussein's actually younger than Andrew Hunt. But Andrew Hunt has that nuclear power in his hooks. So I don't know. I woke up this morning thinking I was convinced I was going to take Ben Hussein as the dog. And before I went live, I was watching some Andrew Hunt film study. And I kind of was like, Andrew Hunt seems like a beast. So that's kind of where my head's at. Knew it was over by the 7th. It's called MMA math. It don't work. It never works, does it? Ioka looked decent against Puma anyway and all that, so I'm going to look at it. We got to look at it. Puma's good, too. Puma, dude, this is style. When you're looking at your film, too, guys, remember, it's not just what you see in their performances. This is something nobody really talks about in terms of watching film and then using what you see to predicate your bet. It's not just each fighter. You then have to take and understand what you're seeing in each fighter, and then you have to predict and hypothesize how those styles will mesh. So remember to do that, because styles make fights is a cliche. But the logic in that is what we're talking about is when you have like close fights and a close matchup and the odds are great, it might be 50-50 on paper. You know, the ones who do this really well, who know what they're talking about, understand the sport of boxing too, and understand what fighter A style is and fighter B style is. And then you have to kind of like hypothesize, all right, this is how these two are going to mesh. This guy likes to fight off of his back foot, and this guy's a front forward fighter, but this guy's counters are slow. He's a little bit too comfortable on the ropes, and I think he's going to get outworked. That sort of thing. So just remember what we're doing at. It's always tough with, two Japanese style fighters. This upcoming weekend is going to be insane. We know what you do. We know what you do in the we got yeah. Yeah, it's a big weekend. What the F? I didn't play any of those fights. I knew they were sus. Arislandi Alvarez dropped Nunez and got caught coming in reckless. Quick count too. He got stopped. Quick count too. I have a couple, but some of the JSB insiders played that plus 600 dog and hit. Not my best this weekend, but managed to find some wins. Can't wait till May 2nd. Thanks, Mosby, for the super chat. Appreciate the tip. Appreciate the support. Guys, like this video. Let me know how you're doing. Caleb Plant beats Munguia. I don't know, man. Caleb Plant, his cardio's not there. Doesn't really throw a lot of punches. Hasn't been active. I've never rated Caleb Plant. Birthday boy with Sasaki is determined. That might be the one. What's up, Fresh? That might be the one. When people are, Johnny, what's a dog that you like more? Resendez or Sasaki? 100% Jin Sasaki. 100%. I don't really trust Armando Resendez right now. Not right now. Let me watch a little bit more. I got to do my deep dive, look at his Instagram, look at how he's been. I mean, he looked physically, jeez, his body, what he looked like, that was the best version of Resendez we've seen. His body completely transformed. Shout out to his camp. He's not with, yeah. So there's a lot to look into. Resendez punches are a lot sharper. His footwork is better, and I like his head movement. Munguia seems to get caught a lot with the Sriracha overhand right, which is a punch. He got caught once. He didn't get caught a lot. He got caught once. He got caught showcasing. He was dog walking Sriracha that first fight. Sriracha was picking up on that tail, and round 4 or 5, he kept, he set him up. It was a beautiful trap. There is something about Munguia's game that bothers me. We try to hit on it in our last live stream about Munguia overall, his game is sluggish. It's like I don't the thing about that is I don't think it's a thing that you could get better at. You know what I mean? Munguia's flaws to me aren't. We know he works his ass off. We know he stays in the gym. We know he's hungry. We know this guy is, just as world level guys will, all operate at. You have to kind of operate at that level. I think his shortcomings though are more talent wise, or like athleticism sort of things that you can't work on. So like but he's big, dude. Dude, he's big, active, long. He's going to win rounds, dude. So are we gonna bet on Resendez to stop Munguia? It could that could be that could be the move. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Let me have it. Give me a day, guys. Give me a day, maybe 2 days. The first ticket you guys will get will be is Australia, is Melbourne. That's in 48 hours. We got fights in 48 hours. King of Fitness, horrible weekend for your boy Johnny. Milling that out tomorrow. This weekend was hectic. Had to attend my friend's funeral. Damn, man, that's such a loaded comment. You packed in a lot on that one comment. Yeah, it was a rough weekend for a lot of people, but nothing's more rough than losing a friend, brother. I'll keep an eye on the mail, and yeah, Chris Payne Jones, R.I.P. College football player, pro football player, Nebraska, right? Resendez can thrive in a firefight. Watch that Jared Hurd fight. We can watch fights. We can watch fights, but do you want to watch too many fights? Because are you gonna watch the Elijah Garcia fight? Sometimes the best bets, yes. It's one of my favorite quotes that we talk about all the time. Yeah, happy late birthday. Well, it's what's it? It's April 27th. My birthday is actually now in Australia, but tomorrow in America, so you're not late. Appreciate you. Manny Robles. I always get mixed up. Hussein is tall for the division. Gonna look into that fight, guys. Look into that fight. Look into that fight. People are gonna that right now. I know we have all these fights coming up. It's gonna sound crazy to you guys because you guys aren't tapped into this Aussie domestic scene, but because I am really excited to see Andrew Hunt versus Ben Hussein, which sounds insane that I want to see Ben Hussein fight Andrew. But guys, that is a very fun firefight. So it's hard for me to get excited about all the other fights we have until Wednesday comes to pass. I live my life like this, one fight card at a time. But there's so much to look forward to, especially after we had such a lean fortnight. Maybe April was a bit lean in terms of but guys, April was a great month for us. Look, go to my Instagram, go to my wall. I put all the tickets up. April was a great month for us, but the last few weeks we haven't had a lot of awesome fights to talk about. Are you covering? Of course, I am. I have a lot of Stats Don't Lie videos I got to come up with. I have a lot of work to do for you guys. Getting back on my breakdowns, my analysis videos. I haven't. This is how slow in terms of high level matchmaking it's been in terms of. I haven't done a Stats Don't Lie video in 3 weeks. Because I haven't looked at the books in 3 weeks and be like, oh, that's going to be a good fight to break. That's how I choose what fights I'm going to break down. That's going to be a good fight I want to do film study on. Because if I'm not ever going to give you guys a breakdown, a full-on video on a fight that doesn't excite me, and maybe that may call me old-fashioned. I don't know. That's from a creative perspective. I don't just do this. I look at all this as a creative passion project. I like filming. I like editing. I like using my editing software. I like using my professional cameras and my audio equipment. I like layering the audio and the sound. I use my own music in the background. I like finding if you watch my Stats Done Live videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. I put it together like a small documentary, and I enjoy doing it. It takes a lot of time, but I'm not going to do that for fights that are sea-level domestic fights in Denmark. You know what I'm saying? But this week we have a lot of fights. You know, dude, Mariah Turner. Mariah Turner against Sky Nicholson. That's I've been watching Mariah Turner. She's been, dude. This is I don't know the odds. The odds are probably wide, and I don't want to jump the gun and even say Mariah's live, but man, she's an opponent for sure. She's not just going to go in there and lie down. I think the G Banger's fighting this week. Do you guys know who the G Banger is? Don't Google him. He's a domestic Brisbane fighter who's like 1-4, and his nickname is the G Banger. Lance McCauley. Don't Google him. Just go. he, so bizarre, dude. It's so he literally gets fights because he rocks a G Banger to the weigh-ins and he gets starched. He gets knocked out. Is it Lance McCauley? It's wild that I even know that. All right. We got the screen up, boys. I told you just give me time. So this is our first fight. This goes down in about 48 hours. So right now, Andrew Hunt's $1.39. If props don't come out, I mean, I think somebody's probably going to get stopped. But then again, I said that last time with the Australian card. Watch both guys. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is a fun stylistic firefight. Ben Hussein at plus 225. I think he's live, man. I think he's the younger dude, but he's been in there with the better talent. He has been stopped twice before. Andrew Hunt got real power in his hooks. This is a fun fight. It's a fight to look into. And Ben Mahoney broke Ben Hussein's jaw in 2020. I know it was 6 years ago, and Ben was like 20 years old, 21 years old. And we just saw Ben Mahoney against. He won a decision. We thought Mahoney was going to win by knockout just this past weekend. Taramona going in again as a 33-1 favorite. What are we doing? Jake Wiley against Miles Zalewski. Miles Zalewski almost a 4-1 dog. Jake Wiley is like the king of one gear. Jake has one gear. He just so I don't know. I gotta watch. I gotta watch tape of Miles. I'm gonna send some messages out to my boys. Mariah 7-1 dog against Sky. Maybe that's fair. People are really high on Sky. Just depends on what you see. I got to revisit Mariah's tape. Sky can't. I mean, is she going to be on her back foot the whole time? Is she going to throw this counter check hook? Is she going to act like she's shakurstevenson? Mariah Turner is going to be in her wheelhouse. She's going to make Sky work. I think this fight's a lot. All I'm going to say on Sky versus Mariah is this fight's a lot closer than 8-1 dog. Erdenbot. Sendabatar Erdenbot is fighting this week. Samuel Carmona, Rodrigo Ramirez. I got to remind myself who those guys are. Kusuko Tomoka versus Tanaka. Dude, Japanese boxing, bro. We're in for some firefights. That's on Saturday. Jin Sasaki. This is so interesting. Everyone's intrigued by these odds. Tanaka is 6-0. He has 6 pro fights. Sasaki, 25 pro fights. His only losses are to Andy Hiroka and Brian Norman Jr. Those odds haven't moved. You know what? You might see you might see my first ticket in the next hour. You might see you know what? I'm gonna do it. I might do it right now. I'm gonna do it right now. Twitter's about to go bananas. I'm putting it in now. I might not post it till tomorrow, but I can't let that pass up. I'm sorry. That's insane. We've seen the patterns. 5 pro fights, a guy with 25 pro fights. I think we'll never get this exact evidence, but these opening odds have to be manipulated from an algorithm. Have to be. Like, I bet you the algorithm, one of the key factors, because this is just a pattern I'm seeing is, yeah, Sasaki, he doesn't have a perfect record. He's lost twice. How do you think he's lost? He got stopped twice. His opponent, 100% knockout to win ratio. That must be one of the first perimeters they're looking at. They're not even like deciphering how many total pro fights. They're just looking at knockout to win ratio. Has the guy been stopped? That's what I'm seeing, because I'm seeing this week in and week out. And when we're talking about live dogs, we've hit 12 weeks in a row on dogs, whether it's in boxing or MMA, but we get hit on dogs, and a lot of you guys, a lot of times, I'll think they're live, but there'll be pushback. Look at the receipts. There'll be pushback on a lot of these dogs. He's not live. Jin Sasaki is a live dog, dude. So if we had to categorize what does that actually mean, you're gonna see a picture of Jin Sasaki at plus 145. That's a freaking live ass dog, dude. And I'm jumping right now. Twitter, Johnny's doing it again. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Yeah. Locked in. Locked in. Kiza. One championship guy. Crazy. Oh, was it? Do you get ads? Let me look into it. Sportsbet doesn't give me odds. I think Bet365 does. Kiza, bait me into it in the Discord. You know what I mean? If I see you post the odds if they're in the if you're getting them in the Discord. I want to have a look. There was a time where I didn't miss any one championship cards. It wasn't that long ago. I talk about when Ong Lan Song was the double champ at light heavy and middleweight. I watched every card. A few years, that was 20. Aging myself with that one, right? Munguia averages 31 in Renoso against. Okay, I love stats. Munguia averages 31 punches thrown per round, with Renoso against Sirache more defensive minded. Now Resendez. So Resendez is okay. Thank you for this. 50. So Resendez is going to outwork him. I think Resendez will outwork Munguia. Okay, it's a good stat, and I love stats. It's a great stat. Johnny, I got Junto versus Inoue not to go the distance at plus money. I like that too, Brendan. I like you guys probably aren't gonna like what I'm about to say here. But here's what I like in that fight. I just want to say you guys are the best, by the way. It's what I get to do. You guys, how our community is growing. I just want to say I'm very appreciative of everybody. I just wanted to say that if I don't say that enough. Because look what we do. This is literally, other than like me spending time with my family, me coaching my clients, this is like the best part of my day. We're talking about like high level, world class, Hall of Fame boxing, dude. Come on, this is amazing. Let's see what these odds are. Okay, it was already pulled up on my book. So here's the $1.27. What's our word of 2026? Value. Add value. That's not my value play on this fight is going to be this. And I might lock that in right now. I think Inoue's going to knock him out. Based on how they fight, based on their styles, based on what's at stake. This fight's not in Las Vegas. It's in Japan, mate. Brave styles. Both guys could punch. I could just see a firefight, and I could just see chins getting checked. I like what's the fight not to go the distance, Pan? Plus 103. Is that a hedge? Fight not to go. Will the fight go the distance? No. 66% return. I don't see, mate. Look. People are like, well, can't you see Junto knocking Inoue out? This would be Junto's second fight at 22. He didn't knock his first opponent out at 22. We see this happen all the time, though, whenever fighters move up to a new division. They tend not to get knockouts in that first 1 or 2 fights. Recent memory, Benavidez, just because he's fighting this weekend too. A lot of the boys took Benavidez to win by knockout in his first fight at light heavy when he fought Vosdick, won on points. Benny only had 1 stoppage, I think, at light heavy, and that was his last fight against Yard. And Benny's moving up to cruiser against Zerto, so I'm not playing that knockout. Junto's second fight at 22 against Inoue. Does Junto hit harder than Luis Nery? Does Junto hit harder than Ramon Cardenas? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. So I'm not. Why wouldn't I hedge the fight not to go the distance at 166? I'm pretty convinced Inoue's going to stop him and do it and look good. So I'm going to get Inoue by stoppage at plus money. I love that bet. I'm a Junto Nakatani fan. I think he's going to have a hard time with Inoue. I think with Inoue, we're looking at an all-time great. I'm talking of the lightweight fighters. We're talking about Inoue's a Mount Rushmore guy, if you ask me. For guys that we're going to look back in 20 years and just enjoy his tape. His tape is going to age so well. His fights are going to age so well. I think what did Inoue? I think since fight 6, and if John Magana is still on, or some of the stat boys, or Barry Unboxing might be on, pull this up. I think it was Inoue since either his 5th pro fight or his 6th pro fight, and every fight since have been world title fights. We're looking at a Mount Rushmore guy. I don't know if he's on my Mount Rushmore of all-time boxers, but if I had to say under 130 pounds, 100, yes, 100%. Some folks might even put him on the Mount Rushmore of all-time boxers. I like categorizing it, though. I like keeping the weight. I might even do, I might have a Mount Rushmore of heavyweights. I'm a nerd. I have a Mount Rushmore of middleweights. You got to have a Mount Rushmore of lightweights. You know what I mean? So I don't just have a Mount Rushmore of just boxers with just 4 guys on it. But if I were to categorize under 126 pounds, he's definitely on. He's the guy. Yeah, Manny Robles does great work. One of my favorite coaches. This is why when we're looking at Munguia versus Resendez, who are the boys betting against? We're betting against coaches and camps. You know what? I'm sold. I'm taking Resendez. I'm sold. Eddie Reynoso versus Manny Robles. This is what we do. Guys, this is what we do. And it's a very valid point. Very valid point. Especially recently, Manny Robles versus Eddie Reynoso. You got to bet on the camps. You just saw me win money, Jarrell Miller. A big reason for that is that he went back to Boise, betting on the camp. Fucking best sport in the world. Munguia was better with Eric Morales and Freddie Roach. I agree. I felt like Munguia was more visceral with those guys. You could tell that. I don't want to use the word hesitant like it was a bad thing, but he was more adherent to a game plan with those guys. I think the Junto Inoue plays a lot like Inoue Picasso. I don't know if Picasso is a good comparison though to Junto. See, I think Inoue Junto is going to play a lot like Inoue Cardenas. I think it's going to be a freaking firefight. Yeah, I think it's going to be a firefight. I don't think Inoue's going to have to move too much to find Junto. And Junto doesn't have the best head movement. He moves laterally. He goes front and back on a straight line. Not a lot of. It's more here. I don't think I think that's gonna be, dude. I can't wait. I could already hear round one starting and the whole the arena. I like, dude. Our squad. We're like savages. The JSB community, because the boxing's been so low level the last few weeks. I feel like everybody's just like a rabid beast being allowed out of their cages. You know, we've all been in these cages, and the cages have these electronic locks, and somehow the grid went down and the locks deactivate, and the cage, just the door slides open and we realize we're free. We poke our head out and we're just animal. That's the analogy I have right now. When we're looking at all the odds and the bets we have in front of us and the matchups and the fights and the conversations, we're all just salivating. Guys, I do want to say right now that I think the biggest hesitation we should all have as a community going into this weekend is making sure that we don't make the mistake of wanting to bet on everything. You know what I mean? I think a big challenge for us as a team this week will be boundaries of when to take a fight off. We don't have to bet on every fight. Who's his coach now? Eddie Ray. Uh-huh. I like the distance to Munguia Resendez. Nice. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Munguia's defense is going to get sharper, but his output is going to diminish in the process. Look at Andrew Ruiz. He didn't look too... That was a sneaky, entertaining fight, man. I'm glad you referenced that fight. Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola was a fun fight, man. No one talks about that fight. I had a ball watching that fight. Then again, that fight gets lost in the shuffle. The fight, the over and the Munguia fight seems somewhat safe. Nothing seems safe, boys. Nothing seems safe. The boys in the Discord were salty because they took the over in the Jacob Bank fight against Unk. And Bank's volume, Bank throws like 11 punches around. I was like, oh shit, this over. And then he hits him with a phantom liver shot and he gets him out of there in the fourth. So I'm not, but Eddie, this is your expertise. I don't play over and unders. Over and unders is dicey. It's just not my stilo. I'm a prop guy. I'm a method of victory guy. I'm a dog guy. I'm not an over and under guy. The sharpest Munguia ever looked was there. Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Eric Morales. On the surface thus far. On the surface. Oh, you mean, did I look at the Jin Sasaki Sora tape? Yes, I've been looking at it for a week. You can't find all 5 fights of the kid, but I've watched Jin's entire career. I know Jinto looked rough in his last fight. But plus 300 seems wild. What great chats we're going to have this week, boys. What great chats we're going to have. The squad, the team. I woke up this morning, and I woke up. It's a Monday morning. There's no boxing on today. And I look in our Discord, and there's 70 people in there. There's only 44 right now. But, like, you guys are savages, dude. Breakdowns galore. The Gambling Vulture's doing his breakdowns. Baby Usyk. What a community we got. Just chatting boxing 24. We literally have created a spot 24/7, 365 to chat boxing. Can you see Benavidez stopping Zerto? My issue, user and statistically speaking, no. Pattern recognition, no. Based off of moving up another weight division, this would be the biggest dude he's ever fought. Zerto's super durable. Benny's not a one-punch guy. So that sort of thing. So Benny money line, Benny points, fight to go the distance, and the over. I like all that. King, my parlay looking good. Your parlay's always looking good. Let's see who you got. I got the Inoue fight to win. I got Inoue win by decision. Nice. I don't think. Yeah. I don't think he stops him. Damn, I just love the intrigue for this week. My palms, like, I'm nervous already. I'm getting clammy thinking about these fights. I think Munguia beats Resendez. See, this is, as you can tell, I'm being torn. You know, last week up until last week, I was all in on Munguia. And then just in this live stream, you start talking about Coach Robles versus Coach Reynoso, and I'm like, oh, you're right, I'm flip-flopping. And then John Magana dropping the stats. I don't know why I thought Munguia would be the guy out voluming Resendez. I gotta revisit what I thought I knew about each guy. Can't wait till Benavides puts hands on Zerto. Anyway, was a champion in his 6 pro fights. Yeah. Shout out. Yeah, it's a crazy stat, dude. Crazy stat. It's insane. Hopefully the boxing fan, I know you guys understand this, but it's one of those stats that it's hard to break through to a casual how significant that is. The greatness of Inoue, how long he's been great. Every fight, everything on the line. Think about that. Every fight, everything is on the line. And this is what makes great fighters great. Terrence Bud Crawford, same sort of thing. Since the Ricky Burns fight at 135 pounds, every time that guy stepped in the ring, everything was on the line. And Bud just chose to say, hey, you know what? It's not enough for me to do it this way. I'm going to do it my own goddamn way and figure things out. And he figured it out every single time. And obviously I'm not comparing how they operated, but I'm comparing the mindset of both guys. And there are some parallels to how Inoue has operated his career with how Bud Crawford psychologically has operated his career. And it's no shock to see that they're both 2 generational greats. You kind of have to be that way to be a great. You know what I mean? You kind of have to be willing to throw everything on the line, every fight with no hesitation, not worrying about hydration clauses and weight classes and when you catch a guy and where he's at in his career. No, out to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Let's go. Woo! We're back. We didn't have it. It was tough to get this side out of me the last few weeks on the lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, matchups, matchmaking, fight appeal, bring something out of me. Bring something different out of us. I don't see Resendez winning. Give me Benny, Inoue, and Duarte. Oscar's fight. I'm a fan. User, for me not to wake up for it, you know. I didn't even wake up for it. Yeah, some people thrive on these over-unders. What's up, Gambino? Not the usual big ones we're used to here, but we still believe in rocking with you. My book wouldn't let me bet on Miller fight. Really? Wouldn't let you bet the Miller fight the night of. They knew we knew. That's crazy. Yeah, we hit our dog of the week. We hit our UFC parlay. Dog of the week, Aljo at plus 110. The UFC parlay, the live one that we put on in the chat, was plus 850. And yeah, the parlays all got cooked. We missed one. This is why once you go past the money line, it's tricky because does he win on points? Does he win? Does he get the knockout? And you have to, when the odds in the matchmaking, the disparity is so vast from what we're getting on the money line. You have to get sexy with it, and sometimes it doesn't go our way. We didn't get shut out though. We didn't get shut out. We had to be archaeologists this week. We found a way. If it's 50-50, isn't the value on? Yeah, he's right. It's a good point. When betting over unders, you got to consider the politics. Fabio Worley's last two inside the distance. Guys, I got to wrap it up. I got birthday brunch with my girl. I'll see my boys later.